All right, hello everyone. This is Paul from SpanishWithPaul.com and welcome to this Monday's Spanish lesson. What we're going to talk about today is how to express there is, there are, there was, and there were in Spanish. Now, as you can see in English, we have 4 variations. We can say is, are, was, and were. But in Spanish, it's actually a lot simpler. We just have 2 words. We have I for there is and there are, and había for there was and there were. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how it works, give you lots of practical examples, and as always, make you think it out for yourself, because as we all know, this is the only way that you really learn. That's all coming up next. If becoming fluent in conversational Spanish is one of your goals for this year, then consider clicking the link above to download my free course books that go along with all of my YouTube lessons. You can also subscribe to my channel to get a brand new Spanish lesson from me every single Monday. So with that out of the way, let's get started. To express there is in Spanish, it's just one word. In fact, it's just one syllable. It's I. Now, this sounds like the letter I in English, but as you can see, the spelling is very different. So whenever you come across there is, you're going to use the sound of I in Spanish. The word for traffic in Spanish is tráfico. Notice that we have the accent over the a. This is where you will stress the word tráfico. And it's a masculine word. So how would you say the traffic? El tráfico. If we wanted to say a lot of traffic, it would be mucho tráfico. Now, how would you say there is a lot of traffic? Hay mucho tráfico. What's the word for today? Hoy. How would you say there is a lot of traffic today? Hay mucho tráfico hoy. Something we say a lot in English is right. For example, there's a lot of traffic today, right? This word, right, in Spanish is verdad. It literally means truth. So what you would be saying is, there's a lot of traffic today. Truth? Again, this is verdad. How would you say, there's a lot of traffic today, right? Hay mucho tráfico hoy, ¿verdad? The word for rain is lluvia. We have ju followed by via. Lluvia. It's a feminine word. So how would you say the rain? La lluvia. Now to say a lot of rain, it would be mucha lluvia. This is important because you can see that mucha is matching with lluvia. Mucha lluvia. How would you say there is a lot of rain? Hay mucha lluvia. Let's take notice of this. With the word traffic, we had mucho. You can see how it's matching mucho tráfico. But with lluvia being a feminine word, mucho changes to mucha, again matching. So we have mucho tráfico, but mucha lluvia. Spanish does this a lot. It loves to agree. So far we have I for there is. To express there isn't, it would be no hay. So we have I, there is, no I, there isn't. How would you say there isn't a lot of traffic today? No hay mucho tráfico hoy. The word for this morning is esta mañana. How would you say there isn't a lot of traffic this morning? No hay mucho tráfico esta mañana. What about there isn't a lot of rain this morning? No hay mucha lluvia esta mañana. The word for sun in Spanish is sol. This is a masculine word. So how would you say the sun? El sol. What about a lot of sun? Mucho sol. This is actually how you express it's sunny in Spanish. You literally say there is a lot of sun. How would you say that? Hay mucho sol. What about there isn't a lot of sun? No hay mucho sol. How would you say it isn't very sunny today? No hay mucho sol hoy. Do you remember the word for rain? Lluvia. How would you say there isn't a lot of rain today? No hay mucha lluvia hoy. Hopefully you remember to change to mucha because we want it to match with lluvia, a feminine word. So far we've been looking at there is, which is in the present tense. But we also have there was in the past. The sound for this in Spanish is había. Notice that the H is silent, so your pronunciation starts from here, había. How would you say there was a lot of traffic today? Había mucho tráfico hoy. The word for earlier in Spanish is más temprano. How would you say there was a lot of traffic earlier? Había mucho tráfico más temprano. What's the word for yesterday? Ayer. Now say, there was a lot of traffic yesterday. Había mucho tráfico ayer. How would you say there was a lot of rain yesterday? Había mucha lluvia ayer. What about this one? It was very sunny yesterday. Había mucho sol ayer. Remember that what you're literally saying is there was a lot of sun yesterday. But this is how they would express it was very sunny yesterday. How would you extend that and say it was very sunny yesterday, right? Había mucho sol ayer, ¿verdad? Any time that you would like to be more specific and insert a day of the week into these kinds of phrases, there's a little difference that we need to be aware of between English and Spanish. For example, in English we would say there was a lot of traffic on Monday, or you could simply delete this and say there was a lot of traffic Monday. But in Spanish, they would say it as there was a lot of traffic the Monday. They would throw in the definite article. The definite article in English is simply the word the. So the Monday would be el lunes. So we would have había mucho tráfico el lunes. Literally, there was a lot of traffic the Monday. Now, all days of the week are masculine in Spanish. They always carry el. Once again, how would you say there was a lot of traffic on Monday? Había mucho tráfico el lunes. The word for Saturday is el sábado. How would you say there was a lot of traffic Saturday? Había mucho tráfico el sábado. How would you say it was very sunny Saturday? Había mucho sol el sábado. So far we have había for there was. I wonder if you can guess how to say there wasn't. No había. How would you say there wasn't a lot of traffic? No había mucho tráfico. Do you remember the word for earlier? Más temprano. How would you say earlier there wasn't a lot of traffic? Más temprano no había mucho tráfico. How would you say there wasn't a lot of traffic on Monday? No había mucho tráfico el lunes. What about there wasn't a lot of rain on Saturday? No había mucha lluvia el sábado. Hopefully you're remembering to change from mucho to mucha, depending if it's a feminine or a masculine word. Let's change to something different now. The word for noise is ruido. We have ru, y, and do. So ruido. This is a masculine word. How would you say the noise? El ruido. How would you say a lot of noise? Mucho ruido. What's the word for tonight? Esta noche. Now, how would you say there's a lot of noise tonight, meaning it's very noisy? Hay mucho ruido esta noche. What about there isn't a lot of noise tonight? No hay mucho ruido esta noche. What's the word for now? Ahora. How would you say there isn't a lot of noise now? No hay mucho ruido ahora. What's the word for last night? Anoche. How would you say there was a lot of noise last night? Había mucho ruido anoche. What about there was a lot of noise earlier? Había mucho ruido más temprano. How would you say there wasn't a lot of noise last night? No había mucho ruido anoche. The word for rubbish is basura. This is a feminine word. How would you say the rubbish? La basura. What about a lot of rubbish? Mucha basura. How would you say there's a lot of rubbish here? Hay mucha basura aquí. Now say there isn't a lot of rubbish here. No hay mucha basura aquí. How would you say there was a lot of rubbish here? Había mucha basura aquí. Now say there wasn't a lot of rubbish here. No había mucha basura aquí. In the beginning of this lesson, I told you something interesting, which was that I means there is, but it also means there are. So we have a double meaning for the word I. There is and there are. The word for people in Spanish is gente. We have a strong H sound here, gente, and this is a feminine word. How would you say the people? La gente. How would you say a lot of people? Mucha gente. Now, to express there are a lot of people, we know that I means there is, but also there are. So how would you translate this now into Spanish? Hay mucha gente aquí. At the same time, you're saying there is a lot of people, but also there are a lot of people. How would you say today there are a lot of people here? Hoy hay mucha gente aquí. Now, how would you say there were a lot of people here yesterday? Había mucha gente aquí ayer. Do you remember how to say this morning? Esta mañana. Now say, there weren't a lot of people here this morning. No había mucha gente aquí esta mañana. How do you say earlier? Más temprano. There weren't a lot of people here earlier. No había mucha gente aquí más temprano. The word for always in Spanish is siempre. If we wanted to say there are always a lot of people here, we put the word always way up front at the beginning of the sentence in Spanish. That's the correct word order, the one that sounds most natural. So how would you say that? There are always a lot of people here. Siempre hay mucha gente aquí. Do you remember the word for Saturday? el sábado. Now say, there are always a lot of people here on Saturday. Siempre hay mucha gente aquí el sábado. What's the word for Monday? Lunes. This, of course, would be a masculine word as well. El lunes. How would you say there are always a lot of people here on Monday? Siempre hay mucha gente aquí el lunes. Sometimes in English we'll want to make that plural. For example, on Saturdays or on Mondays. To do this in Spanish, el lunes would become los lunes. It would become plural. Or el sábado would become los sábados. Let's try it. How would you say, there are always a lot of people here on Mondays? Siempre hay mucha gente aquí los lunes. What about, there are always a lot of people here on Saturdays? Siempre hay mucha gente aquí los sábados. What we have here is really a good example of why it's so easy to make little mistakes in Spanish. First of all, we have there are always a lot of people here, and the word order, as you can see, is different in Spanish because the word always would come up front, siempre. Then we must remember that gente is a feminine word, so we have to match la gente with mucha gente. Finally, in English we say on Saturdays, whereas in Spanish they would say the Saturdays, los sábados. I'm sure you've heard the saying, the devil is in the details, and this is a very good example of that. This is why it's so easy to make mistakes in Spanish, because there are so many little details that we have to pay attention to. This is why we have to be very careful when we're learning, and we have to think things out and go slowly. It's the only way that eventually things will become automatic, which will eventually lead to fluency. If you're serious about learning Spanish and want to become conversationally fluent, my main course, Spanish with Paul, is live and available for you now. Inside you'll get my complete course, none of which is available on YouTube, and also my personal attention to make sure you achieve conversational fluency in the fastest time possible. In short, if you like my free lessons on YouTube and the results they're giving you, then you'll love what I have for you inside the main course. You can click the link on the screen now to find out all the details. So with that said, I look forward to seeing you again in my next video.